Radio. Christian Gokel, glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Tuesday afternoon. Got a lot of news to dive into here. Just interesting day around the city of Savannah. We have some baseball news to dive into as well in a little bit. Should be joined here soon by a guest, and that is the news of the day. As Savannah State has finally announced who their new head football coach will be. It will be Aaron Kelton will be the 27th head football coach in the history of the Savannah State football program. He comes down to Savannah State from Howard, where he was most recently the cornerbacks coach. I want to make sure that's clear. And I want to make sure that's clear. But cornerbacks coach at Howard, and will now come over and take over as the 27th head coach. Sorry, we are dealing with people running all over the place in the studio right now. But Russell DeMasi, who was the interim coach at Savannah State, one of the 4 finalists, not retained by the staff. And I think that's something we're going to dive into here on the show in a little bit. And we're just waiting here. I believe we have him with us now. As I look at BJ Bennett staring at the phone. I believe we have him with us here now. The 27th head coach for the Savannah State Tigers, Aaron Kelton, joins us here on Second Down. Aaron, thank you for joining the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
First off, congratulations. I know it's been an interesting process and a little bit late in the game in terms of when these decisions are usually made. So take us through that. What has this process been like in your communications with Savannah State? When did that start? When did you receive the news?
It's been an ongoing process. We know it was pretty extensive in terms of length of time, but the last month has been really ramped up in terms of interviewing with the committee, and then coming on campus, and then an additional interview with OPO, one-on-one, and then the announcement was made, or I was informed that I would be the guy last week, and now I'm here. So this past month has been, they've moved pretty quickly to get all of this processed, and so it's an exciting time for all of us, for sure.
And not your first head coaching stop, but when you were looking at this job and decided to throw your name there for consideration, what was it about this job that made you think that, hey, maybe you could be the guy and this is something you wanted to do?
Well, it's a great university. They've had recent success, and certainly I felt like I could help sustain that, as we go. And then it really, appealed to me. The region is a rich region in terms of recruiting. And certainly we'll recruit Savannah and all, the entire state of Georgia and Florida and South Carolina, for sure. And so it seemed like it was the right fit. I spent time just praying about it and talking to my wife, and God heard my prayer and certainly gave me this opportunity.
Tell the fans listening now a little bit about your history as a football coach, and then you mentioned your family there. Just a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, I'm a husband and father for sure, and life is wonderful. I'm originally from Boston, but started coaching. I've been coaching for 28 years now, I think, on a bunch of different levels. Was at MIT, was at Columbia, was at Virginia State, was at Concord University, head coach at Williams College, head coach at Shorter University, Morgan State University, Howard University, and then now here at Savannah. And so I believe I have, a solid resume that would help me in this process, and certainly, have recruited Georgia for double-digit years now, and so this just seemed like a good fit for me.
And we're certainly excited to have you here in the city, but of course, with any hiring is going to come a lot of scrutiny, and I know one of the things a lot of people have pointed out is a very unsuccessful term there at Shorter. I know a school that was transitioning and going through a lot of the time, but to the people out there who look at that 0-11 and 0-11 seasons there at Shorter and maybe have question marks about, man, like is this really the person we want taking over a program that, as you mentioned, has seen a lot of recent success? What would you say to that?
Shorter was making a transition, and their transition into the Gulf South Conference has been one that's been tough. Certainly people in this region know about the Gulf South and the talented teams in that conference. And we at the time we had inherited a team that had 52 players, and so it was really about building our roster the first year, basically, and a half, and then we were hoping that the things that we were doing in year two, where we were close to getting a couple wins and those things, it didn't come to fruition. But certainly we were hoping that year three would have shown the fruits of our labor, if you will. And so we didn't get that year, and we understand it. We accept the responsibilities for that because this business is a win business, but I know and believe that I'm definitely the right person for this job here at Savannah State, and we're gonna sustain the winning that we have here. Again, they're going through a bit of a transition from coming down from Division I, and so we've got to maintain players and this portal and all kinds of things to make sure that we're still successful, and so we're going to do that.
Aaron Kelton joining us on the show here. He was named the 27th head football coach at Savannah State earlier this morning. I know anytime a new coach is hired, it's a joyous experience for people in the administration, exciting time for the fan base. But I know for the players, this can be a very trying time because when you invest so much of your time and so much of your energy with a person, obviously you're going to develop a lot of emotional connections. And these guys who put trust into the people that come into their living rooms and say, hey, I'm going to take care of you for the next 4 or 5 years of your life. When they see that person exit, I know it can be an emotional time. And when you have somebody like Russell DeMasi, who took over after Sean Quinn leaves and kind of steered the ship for the past 4 months, for those people who maybe have some raw emotions right now, what do you have to say to them?
I'm grateful for all that Coach DeMasi has, did in this program for sure. We talked to him about any roles that he may want to consider with us, and so that was out there. But the thing is, transition's hard. It's hard for everybody, certainly. And, we're just going to try to be the best and do the best that we can with what we have, right? And, we just look for people who want to support us. We're moving forward in this process, and certainly we're looking forward to making sure that these men that we deal with every day get the most of us and the best of us as we go and as they go out into the real world. So we want to make sure that we're continuing to build on some of the things that they've done here in the past and bring some new wrinkles to continue that. And so, I hope that we can, through our hard work and efforts and people see what we do, that we're able to gain their support and they realize, Coach Kelton's done a pretty good job, and I appreciate him for that. So,
speaking of the staff, will any of the previous staff be coming over to this new squad here heading into 2022?
We're in the process of evaluating everybody, and there are a couple guys who have been around the program who have expressed, wanting to continue in the program, and so we're giving them a hard, honest look, and hopefully they'll be around for some continuity and to be able to just talk to the players and people in our fan base and just sharing this excitement that's ahead of us, and so there will be a couple guys, and we're gonna make the most of it and do the best we can with it.
I've heard a lot of coaches verbalize this. Sean Quinn, when he took over at the school, Russell, obviously, who played in Savannah and at Georgia Southern, and now Clay Helton, the new head football coach up at Georgia Southern, speak about just the talent that's around just 100 square miles from where Savannah State is, from where Statesboro is, just the immense amount of football players that you can go out and build with. When you look at this, what you kind of mentioned having some experience recruiting the state of Georgia before. What's your experience here with South Georgia, and how excited are you to be able to tap this recruiting base?
Uh, I'm extremely excited to be able to tap the recruiting base of South Georgia and the state of Georgia as a whole. You got to turn over every stone and try to find all those good players. That's important. Players win games for sure, and so we've got to make sure that we're out when it's time for us to be on the road. We've got to get out and do our part and represent Savannah State and Tiger football in a great way and get some great players. We're going to recruit Savannah hard. Like you said, that 100-mile radius is extremely important because there are a lot of really good players. And so, and we need them, and we're going to try to go get them. We're not going to slow down one bit when it comes to recruiting. And I've already had coaches and former players and people from the state of Georgia reaching out to me today, expressing that they have some players they want me to look at. So that process has already started for us, and we're excited to continue going with that process.
You were able to speak to the team this morning before the announcement was officially made. How was that? What was the mood like inside the room, and what were some of the conversations that y'all had?
It was a great experience. It was a chance for them to get to see me and know and at least eyeball me, okay, and hopefully they felt comfortable. But what I did for them was really let them dictate the meeting. I shared some of my background and who I was and some of my philosophy, and then had them ask questions because I know that they've been sitting waiting and had a lot of questions, and I wanted to make sure that I gave them the attention and opportunity to ask those questions. And then after, I probably stayed, in the room with them for another half hour to 45 minutes, just answering individual questions, meeting guys, and just talking to them about, who I am and what I hope happens for them in this program and here at Savannah State. So it went great. And then when I was walking across campus, a couple guys already yelled, "Hey, coach, how you doing? Looking good," that kind of stuff. So that made me feel great. And I'm just looking forward to every day I walk in the door, and being able to work with these great young men.
Aaron Kelton joining us here on the show, named the head football coach at Savannah State earlier this morning. So tell us a little bit about you as a football coach. What are the philosophies that you're bringing here to Savannah State? I know a school that's had a lot of recent success here with kind of that Georgia Southern pistol triple option set and just playing really strong defense there on the other side. What kind of philosophies are you bringing here to Savannah?
Well, we hope that we're going to be able to build on that pistol style RPO offense, probably a little bit more, and we're going to try to incorporate a little bit more pass game in terms of that, as well as some tempo stuff, and get into some different sets so teams can't load the box on us. The other phase that we're going to be extremely diligent in terms of everybody being involved is our special teams, because I think that you can win a lot more games with great special teams, and so we're going to spend a lot of time making sure that we got some great wrinkles in our special team game, our return game, our kickoff game, punt for sure, and punt return. And then on defense, I think that we're going to stay very disciplined, be fast and physical, run to the ball, and be a pressure type defense. We're going to make teams have to make decisions and make them in a hurry. And we want to create turnovers and create excitement. We want it to be an exciting game each and every play. And we're going to work hard every day to make sure we can ensure that.
I know one of the biggest concerns for most Savannah State fans don't revolve around a singular person, but just kind of how the school's been used and looked at in the past as a stepping stone. And I know the administration made that a point in this coaching search that they did not want to be used as a stepping stone job anymore. So when you were talking to them about that 5-year plan and about the 10-year plan, what are your visions for this program going forward?
Well, I want us to be able to win the SIAC and qualify for the national playoffs. I mean that's the ultimate goal for us. And I'm here. Like I'm committed to being here. I get it in terms of opportunities come for people, but that I'm not looking at any opportunity other than Savannah State. I want to make sure that our legacy here at Savannah State and Savannah State football is one in which people can just remain excited about and be the talk of the town. Okay, we want to be the small college talk of the town, and certainly in this talent rich state, we want to make sure that every household is saying, have you looked at Savannah State? They got a pretty good program going down there, and so. And I want people to say, Coach Kelton's been doing a good job. He's been there, 10, 12 years, and they've got some consistency and some stability in that program. And so that's important to me. But also at the same time, I want to be able to, work on our fundraising, bring some things in here so that our student athletes, get the best experience possible. That's fun for them, but they get a great experience due to our support and alumni support and other supports out in the community, and that they're able to be a have and not a have not. That's important to me. So we're going to work really hard at those kinds of things.
Well, Aaron, we appreciate you taking the time on what I know has been a crazy few days. We appreciate you taking the time with us here, and I know the fans out there listening really appreciate it. We look forward to working with you as this goes, because I know just here personally for me and the people at the station, we want to see nothing more than this program thrive, because like I've said since the beginning, it's like, yeah, you can go to Statesboro, you can go to Athens to watch a game, but there's also college football taking place right in our backyard. So wish you nothing but the best, man, and look forward to working with you going forward.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Christian, and certainly that's a great message to have, because there's going to be some great football that's played here at Savannah State.
Aaron Kelton, kind enough to join us here on the program. We got more to come here on ESPN Radio. We will be back after this. Coach, thank you for taking the time. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. Christian Gokel joined now by PJ Zuko. First off, beginning of that segment, the opening of the show is terrible. I just want to put that out there. We recognize that. All right, so we're going back. We're doing our film study later on
I'm
the
sure
shows.
it wasn't that
Yeah,
bad.
that was rough.
Like,
you remember Georgia in the opening drive of the national championship where like Stetson was like fumbling against air and getting sacked and just like there was no rhythm? Yeah, that was the opening segment of the show.
I'm
listen,
sorry to hear that.
We're already scared of the phone when one line pops up, but as we were waiting on Coach Kelton to give us a call there, all three lines popped up, and I'm sitting there trying to talk on the radio. BJ Bennett is giving me his like the most horrified expression I've ever seen in my life.
I do love when stuff like that happens because like I love BJ and he knows it, but he kind of has like, he kind of gets locked down sometimes where he's like, I don't know.
Zero confidence
like,
around technology.
So like
Zero.
I was in the front and I took the call for your guest, obviously, and put them on hold, and BJ relayed the message. And I was in the front. There's one phone up there, and then the other lines lit up, and I was just like, oh, I can't pick it up on this phone because if I pick it up on this phone, then he can't pick it up in the studio. So I had to like run to the back. It was
real tight ship we're running here. Just a real advanced futuristic operation we got going on.
It's like a spaceship almost. I mean, I'm
trying to think of the worst spaceship of all time.
It probably
the least futuristic one. Whatever Neil Armstrong was in, that's what we're rocking with.
That's a solid one.
That's what we're rocking with. Where there's actually like no computers in it, and it was just like a hunk of metal attached to a rocket, and they were like, "Let's see if this works." And he's having to do like calculus in his head. Yeah, that's us without the calculus.
Listen, there's a lot of lights. I know that much.
No, so I want to get your opinion on the news out of Savannah this morning. So Aaron Kelton hired as the head football coach there at Savannah State, and obviously you can't come after him for being hired.
Right.
And I'm not saying they made the right or wrong decision. I've just, I guess the thing I am now curious about is what took so long.
Yeah.
Because it's awkward, I think is the best way to put it. I think if you ask Opio there at Savannah State, if you ask anybody else in the administration, it's like you probably didn't want to be a week into spring practice with your interim head football coach before you hire the next head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, typically you try to get this done pre-signing day.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I guess that's the remaining question to me is what took so long to get this done, but maybe now it doesn't matter. I did want to say, and I tweeted this out, you got to give Russell DeMasi so much credit because listen, it's one of those things where when you're named interim, every day that goes by that you don't have that tag pulled is another day and another percentage added to the fact that you're probably not getting the job at the end of the day. And so it's been really easy. I know Russell. I know who he has worked with in the past, the stops that he has made and the relationships that he's developed along the way. Dude could have been gone.
Yeah.
As soon as Sean Quinn left.
Yep.
And would have put himself in a better position, but decided to stay around because this is his home. This is where he wanted to be. And I'm sure he is going to land on his feet somewhere. He's too talented not to. And again, the connections that he have, which inside of coaching, just like anywhere else in life, is massive. The connections that he has, he's going to be okay. But still, this has to be a gut-wrenching day for him. But I want to give credit to the job that he did over these past 4 months. Because, again, he was walking in to kids' houses, not as the head coach at Savannah State, as the interim coach at Savannah State, and having to sell them not on himself because he couldn't guarantee that he was going to be there.
Exactly.
He had to sell those kids on the opportunity that Savannah State itself presents to them, and he put together a ridiculous class.
Exactly.
Like absurd, some of the guys that he was able to keep home. And I'm not saying he was like fighting Georgia and Alabama for players, but he was fighting the big dogs of D2 and some low-level D1 schools to keep some of these guys home.
Mm-hmm. And how difficult is that when their parents or even they themselves look at you and ask you, maybe they don't even have to ask you, but the elephant in the room is, well, how can you give me any kind of semblance that you're going to be there? No, I can't.
Yeah.
But I can tell you how great I think the school is, how great I think the program is, and why this football program needs you. And like you said, he did that overwhelmingly an incredible job, and brought all those guys in under that umbrella, I guess, under that elephant in
And
the
with
room,
the
and still did it.
with the transfer portal,
Yeah.
as soon as Sean Quinn left, like as soon as a head coach leaves, look at what LSU. You see what's happening at LSU basketball?
Yeah,
They have zero scholarship players at LSU because of the transfer portal now. And I understand Division II, you've been able to go from level to level before with no penalty. With the transfer portal now, the fact that Russell was able to keep this team together when Sean Quinn announced that he was leaving is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few guys that did hit the portal, but they were guys who were probably going to hit it anyway because they had opportunities to go to bigger schools and have some opportunities to play in some bigger conferences and potentially further their football careers. But I mean, again, LSU saw their head coach get fired and immediately lost 3 or 4 players to the NBA draft and 11 players to the portal, and pretty much all of their top commitments have now decommitted.
Yeah.
And so it's starting to look like the end of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Will Smith walks in and is just kind of looking around at an empty thing in there. Like, I mean, that's very likely can happen to a lot of schools now. I mean, for every Michigan State that you see where they flip around their school by bringing in 27 transfers,
true.
There's in the not too distant future, a football coach is going to get fired and a school is going to rock out with like 40, 50 players heading out there.
Yeah. This is just the reality of the situation. And the reality of the reality of also is players, no matter, as we were just talking about, right, selling a school and committing to the school itself, players flock to coaches. I mean, there's a reason why they have such great relationships with them and things like that. Like, so when you have a questionable decision like that, or that's unpopular, like the one I can imagine at LSU, where everyone's just ready to go now, that's kind of what you risk. That's why everything has become much more, has to be much more calculated.
To be fair to LSU, when the FBI gets involved around your head coach, it's probably time to sever ties there. But still,
no doubt. But
just the fact that something like that didn't happen, that's Savannah State, I think, is a credit to Russell. So I just wanted to give him credit for the job he's done the past 4 months. And I'm excited to see, I know, again, these next few days, weeks are going to suck. But I'm excited to see where he lands because I can guarantee you it's going to be a very positive step for Russell in his coaching career.
And just I want to add this, like, it's incredible that he did that in the first place and stuck around it, and also gave it, like, because we know the family, but at the same time, just Russell, like, gave it 150% every day, because you could tell, to be able to keep this team together, bring in the recruits that he did. Like, let's be honest, as you said, when that interim tag is kind of hovering over your head, and any situation in life where your situation is in question, the longer it's in question, the more it's possible for you to get discouraged and for production to lack because of that. And saw no sign of that either. Just going in and doing whatever he could. So yeah, big credit to him. Just want to include that too. It's so easy for something like that to happen, when you have something like that hovering over your head. So great job by him. Like you said, can't wait to see where he ends up.
Yeah, interested to see what happens now at Savannah State, as they're in the middle of spring practice at the moment. I know that kind of put on pause as this transition goes into effect, but see who some of the coaches they retain, some of the new guys that they hire up there. And so it's going to be fascinating to see going forward. So they're going to play a little bit more of a passing style there at Savannah State, when we've seen that triple option attack, come into the SEAC and go undefeated in the SEAC year one. And then last year they go 8-2 and barely miss out just by a power ranking on going to the playoff. So it's a program that was not headed in the wrong direction. So interested to see what happens this fall. Did you see the news of the day there, PJ?
Oh, which one? You mean the championship from last night? Yeah, big game, huge. I mean, Kansas coming back. No, I'm just kidding. I already know
it's about a comeback.
It is about a comeback. You're right.
It's about a comeback.
It's about somebody prowling, though, not necessarily doing whatever Jayhawks do.
Is he prowling anymore? Because, all right, we got to talk about this. So Tiger Woods was asked in a press conference today at 11 whether or not he was playing, and he said, as of right now, yes. But you're going, Christian, what does that mean? as of right now. And yeah, I get emotional about Tiger Woods news too. So I get where you're feeling right now. It means if he wakes up on Thursday and his hip, legs, any of that just isn't feeling right, or his back's not feeling right, he's not going to play. But as we sit here on Tuesday afternoon, and he didn't play a round today, I don't believe. I think he just went out there and hit some range balls and was chipping and putting. He feels good. Played a round with Fred Couples yesterday. Fred Couples and Justin Thomas. Freddie Couples said he was ripping the cover
Whew.
off the ball.
There you
Out
go.
driving. I know Justin Thomas is the longest guy on tour, but out driving Justin Thomas.
Yeah. Calm down over that. I see you getting giddy, man.
Well, okay, this is leading me to this. He was asked again, because Tiger Woods has said before he will not play in a tournament if he doesn't feel like he can win it. And that's not saying like he's going to play in like uncompetitive tournaments just to make sure he wins. It's like, no, if he doesn't feel like his body is in the right place to go out there and compete to win, he's not going to play. And so he was asked, so do you feel like you can win this tournament? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you, I almost ran through a wall.
Right. As you should have. As you should have. I'm surprised you didn't just when he announced that he was going to be playing, or thought as of right now that he would be playing, or he had the intention to play. But I mean, I second that with, man, it's Tiger Woods, right? Every time he's out there, he's out there to win championships. He win everything he can, win the major.
He's like becoming like
he's not going
ethereal.
into a tournament.
He's not even like a real player anymore. It's like he is like, you're playing alongside a demigod.
He's not signing up to be competing on Saturday, maybe. Is it? No.
If we're looking realistically at it, and you know me, I will never say Tiger can't win a tournament. If we're looking realistically at it, I think if he can make the cut and play a full 4 rounds, that's a win. This is his first time competing since he got in that car wreck.
Right.
Like, to expect him to come out there and win, is it unreasonable? Maybe. Is it unfathomable? No. As many times as this dude has played this course, and as well as it seems to fit his game and the magic that he seems to have connected with those grounds, am I going to say it's unfathomable that Tiger Woods wins this thing? No. Like, nobody thought he was going to ever win it again. I sat in here and listened to Kevin, BJ, and Ben all tell me he's done.
Yeah.
He's done.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, as much as I joke about it, like if there's anyone that's in tune with like their Tiger sensor or whatever, I'm gonna listen to you. That's why I ask.
But it's not even a Tiger sensor, right? It's just I've said this before. Until he says he's done, it's like with Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Tom Brady can be 87 years old. Until he says he's done, I'm never going to bet against him.
Right?
Because there's no mathematic equation, there's no qualifier, there's no comparison that you can do to anything else, because none of it makes sense.
Yeah.
The rate at which they've won it doesn't make sense. So I'm not gonna say he's gonna win because of metrics.
Right.
I'm gonna say it because I'm not gonna say the opposite.
Yeah. Understandable.
And so it's not this like unshaking faith in the aura that is Tiger Woods, because Lord knows I love Tiger. But it's more so it just feels dumb to say anything else.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I mean is like, you're never going to bet against him, but also like I have, again, like what I mean by that like sense is I do hear whenever I talk to you, of course you get super pumped whenever he's back or in a tournament or whatever. At the same time, when it's like not looking great, you're realistic in that sense where you're like you're talking about this weekend, like you're realistic in that sense. So what I should have listened to you sooner. And honestly, a couple years ago when he won the Masters, I was like, hold on, Christian seems to be really about this. Like this might actually happen. Boom. And then it was. So that's from that point.
There's one thing that I will stick with.
Whatever Christian says about Tiger, I'm probably going to listen to him.
There's one thing I will stick with, and it's you don't want Tiger close on a Sunday.
No.
If you're at Augusta and Tiger's there, you don't want him close. I was trying to tell everybody those dudes in front of him were going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Because every time you hit a shot and you get and then every time he hits a shot, it sounds like you're in the middle of Jordan Hare. Like it's different.
I heard someone today say that they were talking about that win and say it's just the Tiger effect, where it's like,
have you seen these practice rounds?
They literally just start messing up because they know Tiger's around them. Like you said, Tiger's close.
Oh, I have seen multiple golfers at the Masters have to step off of their setup because Tiger did something stupid and the gallery just lost their minds. and the person had to step away from the shot because of how loud it was. But have you seen these practice round pictures?
I mean, some of them.
It looks like Sunday.
Yeah.
Like he's teeing off in a practice round.
Oh yeah.
And it's like 14, 15, 16 rows deep.
So that one you tweeted out this morning.
That is not from a previous Masters. That was from his practice round yesterday.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought I looked at it pretty in depth. Like I looked at the size and I was like, wow, it's pretty impressive. And then I looked at the back, like the way, and I was like, all right, he's trolling. Like he's memeing me. That's fine. I'm not gonna fall for the joke. That's legit.
No, yeah, it's from yesterday.
Okay. All right.
For those of you
joke.
who haven't seen the picture, it's from the tee box behind Tiger Woods looking down the hole, and you can see the green down there as well. So about probably 340-yard hole. And am I lying? All the way down.
Oh, for sure. They
at
were
at least 10 people deep.
Yeah, they were in the stands were full.
Yeah.
Like that's why that was kind of my signal that like, okay, I feel like this is probably a joke because like the stands were full. Everyone around the stands was full. Like I could not see any point other than trees. I couldn't see anywhere where there wasn't a fan. So like you said, I thought that was Sunday on one of the Masters that he won.
Well, you could tell it wasn't Sunday because he wasn't wearing red and black.
That's true. That was probably my first.
Could have been like a Saturday.
My fault.
Could have been like a Saturday, but no, I'm pumped. We saw Tiger walk in with the sunglasses. He was wearing a sweater this morning. It's all the feelings are coming back.
I told them on 3 and Out yesterday. I was like, they were talking about it. Is he going to play? Is he not? Before this was announced, obviously. And I was like, Christian said he's on the prowl and wearing sunglasses, and apparently that's the sign.
Yeah,
like he's good.
If Tiger struts in wearing sunglasses, shut it down.
It's over.
Shut it down. Speaking of shut it down, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back. We got more to talk about here on Second Down. We'll be right back after this. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. Christian Gokel alongside PJ Zuko. Glad to have y'all hanging out with us here. All right, no more Masters talk. I promise. Because
Listen.
we're gonna do our Masters draft tomorrow, so I don't want to. I don't want to take a lot of time.
That'll be fun.
But I do want to hit this with you because Anthony Trace is going to join 3 and Out coming up here in a little bit. He's with PFF, good friend of our program, and he might not be a good friend of mine anymore if this comes true. He just put out his new mock draft. You can see it on PFF.com. He has the Atlanta Falcons taking Desmond Ritter at number 8 overall.
That's great in the second round.
Number 8.
Yeah.
Overall.
Too much. Ugh.
PJ, when I tell you, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. All right? There's a lot.
There's a lot.
When I tell you my sanity will snap if the Falcons draft Desmond Ritter, you know what? Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's not actually sanity that I have. Maybe it's sports fandom lunacy that I have. And maybe this will just be the breaking point, and I can just come on here and basically do political talk or home and garden talk. And if you guys eventually have to fire me because it doesn't make sense that I'm talking about better ways to get your lawn ready for winter when I'm on here. But eventually you guys would have to make that decision, and I understand that.
Okay.
But if the Falcons draft Desmond Ritter at number 8, I'm done. Like, not with football, with sports.
With that being said, I'm gonna head up to Atlanta.
Okay.
You can handle the rest of the show. I think we only got some time left. I'm gonna head up to Atlanta and talk to them in person and try and convince them not to do that because I need you here, man.
I'm hoping, and I hate to do this, but it is what it is. Insider stuff, and most people know this. When you get this close to the draft, every mock draft that's possible has come out, and so eventually, I'm just gonna say what it is. You do clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
You put something out where you have the picture, the cool graphic of Desmond Ritter out there where he's on the front, and you're like, oh, they have Desmond Ritter going somewhere crazy. Like, I've only seen him projected for like maybe late first, but for the most part, late second, early third round. Why do they have Desmond Ritter up there? Let me click on that. Holy cow. Desmond Ritter at number 8.
It's actually
that is crazy. Look what we're doing right now. We're talking about it.
Exactly. No, like you said, and I think Todd McShay does this for instance. I think he alternates. Like, I think he has one legit one and then one goofy one, and then he just kind of goes back.
The person who I'll say like usually sticks to their guns on this, actually 2. Mel Kiper usually sticks to his guns.
Yeah,
he doesn't do the weird like post Tuesday burrito mock draft where he's like, I had a burrito, so now I have a different thought. He usually sticks to his guns. And then Charlie Campbell, who we have on from Walter Football, who for like 3 out of 6 years out of like every media member has gotten the most correct exactos on the draft picks there. Like, so that means you got the number right and the team right. He usually sticks to his guns pretty well too. And for the most part, I've seen 3 names associated with the Falcons. Drake London.
Yeah.
I've seen Ikem Ukwanu.
Right.
And for whatever reason, Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, falling all the way down.
Yeah.
All the way down in the Falcons.
For reasons that scare me, and I hate like when stuff like this happens, but I do love when you get like the anonymous coaches. The reason he's falling a lot is apparently just like effort.
Really?
Yeah, and they say if you go watch the tape, like he has the flash plays, but also when he starts getting slapped up a little bit by a big old tackle, he just kind of disappears. And so my question is, do we need another Vic Beasley?
Right. Yeah, and that is a big problem without a doubt. I preach we talk about football, I preach about like effort and whatever a ton, just like you do, but at the same time, you know who else had kind of that for whatever reason, kind of had that? Jadeveon Clowney. And while he hasn't been like, the best defensive player every single year, like he's still a monster in the NFL.
Yeah, but it's what I've heard about, like I've heard Clowney could like disappear at times, but like what I've been reading about Thibodeau is like just mentally isn't in it for a lot of games. And then like, does he actually love this?
Yeah.
They said like when you hear him talk like about things outside of football, like does he actually love football? And I hate doing that. Like, I hate like trying to look at somebody's heart because you can't really do that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you're making a multi-million-dollar investment. That's kind of scary to me, and maybe why he's slipping here a little bit. Everybody says he's got an amazing first step and probably the most explosive edge rusher, but when it comes to the effort, maybe leaves a little bit to be desired. So I don't know, man. This is nervous. I don't feel like there's any great way to, to do this for the Falcons. I think the only way I'll be happy is if they just take like the best offensive lineman available, and I'll be kind of okay there. Or Kyle Hamilton. Give me Kyle Hamilton, and I'll be happy. We got to take a quick break. We'll come back, get you ready for 3 and Out next. All right, 3 and Out's coming up next. Sorry to Anthony Trace for calling the mock draft clickbait if it's really what he believes.
Listen, when you put stuff out there like that in the ether, all right, you got to take the good, you got to take the bad. I was talking to a buddy about that the other night. Like, listen, you're gonna talk about it, you got to be about it. All right. So
don't Nick Saban me.
all right. You say Desmond Ritter's going number 8. Maybe it's just he saw the red and black and was like, you know what, he'll look good there.
Well, if you're talking about Falcons drafting from teams that wear red and black, then you obviously haven't been following the Falcons very long because that's something they are diametrically opposed to. That being said, 3 and Out coming up next. Ben Troop, BJ Bennett taking you to 6 o'clock coming up tonight, breaking down the national championship from last night and then absolutely talking about potential Falcons draft picks. That's all coming up next.